How you doing there? Welcome back to Babylon Talmud. Today we're studying Daf Pei, Daf 80 of Masechta BavaKama. Friends, yo friends. Daf 80 is, I think, maybe somewhat interesting. Maybe, yeah, Babylon Talmud interesting. You know what I mean? I charged my noise canceling earplugs. Well, as far as I'm concerned, they're earplugs. It was unclear if I actually needed to charge them in order for them to cancel the noise. Not really sure, but I charged them anyways, and hopefully they won't startle me while I'm pouring my heart and soul into Babylon Talmud. It's the morning. I have coffee. And I have passion. I have coffee and I have passion. Alright, we're going to start on Daf Ayin Tesamud Beis at the Mishnah, about, 5, 6, 7 lines before it starts getting wide. Ein megadlin be'medaka be'eretz Yisrael. Interesting. You don't raise like sheep and things in Israel. Goats, sheeps and goats. And it's it's not super clear to me why. It seems like a combination maybe of like two reasons. One has to do with like Yishuv Eretz Yisrael. I guess that's because like you don't want people like eating up each other's like property and stuff. But then again, we're going to see that it could apply to Bavel also because there's like Jews there. So it also maybe has to do with like, I don't know. Or maybe it's like kind of we're going to see those things with like Yoshua that like on account of these things, Joshua, brought us into Israel so that we will, have patience for each other, right? As I pointed out the last time we saw this, not like me, that I don't have patience for people. I mean, I have patience for people in some ways. I like to complain. You know what I mean? I like to complain. That's what I mean. Yeah. I like to complain, but not in a way that's really complaining. You know what I mean? I just like to complain. Do you get the difference? Complaining that isn't complaining. Like I'm not a complainer, but I'm a big complainer. You get the chilek? Anyways, so where were we? Okay, yeah. So it's like a little bit. I can't quite put my finger on what this whole behavior... Look, it has to do with the fact that like the sheep and stuff, they like graze and they eat up the fields and stuff. Now, is the problem that you're going to end up eating your friend's field, like the field of another yid, and that could be problematic, and that's why it could also potentially also apply in Bavel. So the question is like, because in Bavel there's so many yidden around, so it could apply there as well, as we're going to see later. So it has to do with lav davka about Eretz Yisrael, but more about yidden. Or is it davka about Eretz Yisrael because of Yishuv Eretz Yisrael davka, and we don't want people eating up and destroying other people's fields. So is it about like the Eretz Yisrael Indian? Is it about the Ben Adam Chaveru Indian? It's not super clear to me, but I don't know, some kind of combination of that, or I don't know. But anyways, it says don't raise sheep in Eretz Yisrael. Havam Megadlim beSuria, but you can raise sheep in Syria. Right, and Rashi points out, as we've seen before, right, Syria, of course, was captured by David HaMelech. The kasha is kibush yochid shmei kibush or not, right? Right, it was the conquest of David. Would that make it considered part of Eretz Yisrael or not? Anyways, this is assuming not, and therefore you can raise sheep over there. All right. And even in Eretz Yisrael, you could raise sheep in the deserts because I guess there's a lot more open area over there and you're not going to interfere with other people's fields. We don't raise chickens in Jerusalem. Who could tell me why? Because chickens, they walk around and peck things. And we're concerned that it's going to go and start pecking around. And it's going to peck something tamei, and then it's going to go and peck something kachim and create issues. Because of the kachim, we don't want these chickens pecking around and pecking tamei things and pecking kachim things, and creates a whole situation. And Kohanim in general cannot raise chickens in anywhere in Eretz Yisrael because we have to be concerned about their economy. Truma is tyrus. They have to remain tahor. They can't become tummy. So again, for the same issue with the pecking. You can't raise pork. You can't raise pigs. You can't raise hogs in any place. A fellow should not have a hunt unless it's tied up with chains. In person, nishovim leyonim, you shouldn't have nets for doves. Unless it's 30 risses, which apparently are 4 mil, I think, away from the people. Let's go weiter. It says the Gemara, so we don't raise like sheep and goats in Israel. But you can raise them in forests in Eretz Yisrael. Again, because it's not like people's private fields. They're like foresty kind of things, not fieldy kind of things. Now in Syria, however, then even in kind of populated areas, and certainly in Chutz La'aretz, you don't have to worry about it. You can raise sheep wherever you want. Tanidach, we learn another brisa. We don't raise sheep and things in Israel, but we can raise them in the Judean desert, or the desert by Acre. And even though they said that we do not raise the sheep and goats of a magadan be'magasa, but you can raise a like an ox. Because we don't make gezeras, decrees, enactments on the community if the community cannot be expected to follow them. Now, sheep and goats and things you could bring from outside of Eretz Yisrael. But it's you can't bring like oxen and stuff from Chutz La'aretz, and therefore people need oxen, right, for the fields and I guess for consumption. And you can't. It's too difficult to get them from outside of Eretz Yisrael. So therefore, you can raise oxen in Eretz Yisrael, sheep and goats that you can get from outside of Eretz Yisrael. So get them from outside of Eretz Yisrael. And even though they said that you cannot raise sheep and goats in Eretz Yisrael, aval, but you can purchase them from outside of Eretz Yisrael, and mashu kodem l'regel shloshim yom, you can keep them, in your possession before like the festivals when you want to have basar. So you can purchase them and keep them by you up to 30 days in advance. V'kodem mishteh beno, or before if you're making a chasana. So also lamed yom up to 30 days. V'avad shelo yasher es ha'achronim shloshim yom. As long as you don't, leave the later ones for 30 days. Let's go weiter. Skip the words, the Sakadat Chamina. The inofek le regel, that if the festival is over, that you might say that, if you purchased the sheep like a week before Shavuos or something, and you might think that, okay, well now Shavuos is over, I still have the sheep, well it's not yet 30 days, I can keep it for the remainder. Nisht. Lo nema tlasin mishra shari l'shahuye, don't say that you can just keep it for 30 days, and for another 2 weeks or whatever after Shavuos. Elo came to nofak le regel, once the festival is over, lomi boile the shahuye, you should not keep it around anymore. So it sounds like you have up to 30 days prior to the festival, but after the festival you should not keep it around any longer. That tabach and a shoichet lokeach v'shoichet, he can purchase a sheep and slaughter it. Lokeach v'shoichet, or he can keep it. So you can purchase it and slaughter it, purchase it and hold it. Uvavad shelo yashe ha'anuga b'shaboin shloshim yom, as long as you don't wait for up to 30 days, and Rashi points out until the market day. So ki'ilu I mean, it sounds similar to the festival, right? Meaning the butcher, so you can purchase meat and leave it up to 30 days, but that's only up to the market day. But once it's the market day, then you should, slaughter it and sell it and stuff, and you shouldn't kind of keep it around. All right. Let's go weiter. Shalu Tamidav Rabban Gamliel. Rabban Gamliel's students asked him, Ma'al Gadol, can you raise sheep and goats in Eretz Yisrael? So Rabban Gamliel responds, Mutter. Yes, you may. But the Mishnah says you can't. No, what they asked him is, Ma'ulashos, can you keep it? Or can you keep a sheep around? And Mutter, he says yes. You can keep a sheep around as long as it doesn't go around and graze and eat up other people's fields and stuff. Just tie it up to your bed. Okay. So this is an interesting story coming up. I'm not exactly sure what to make of it. There was a Maisa with a Chassid. He was krechzing from his heart. Aww. And they asked the doctors, and the doctors said, his only remedy is to suckle fresh milk every morning. So they brought him a goat. And they tied it to his bed. I don't know. What does that mean? I don't know. He would drink the milk every morning. And then one day his friends came in to visit him. But they saw that he had a goat. That was tied to his bed. They backed away. They said, there's a thief in this house, right? Because of course, you're not allowed to raise sheep and goats because they eat other people's fields. It's a thief. That's why you shouldn't have them around. So his friends walked in and they thought that they revealed a big scandal, that this chassid had a goat, and a goat is a thief. And they said, listim mizuyan bebesu shalzeh. How could we visit this chassid? So they sat down and they went over all of this chassid and figured out, is he a good guy, is he a bad guy? They say, look, this seems to be the only problem with him, is that he has a goat tied to his bed. And also the chassid at the time that he died, he says, that the only sin that I've done is the sin of that goat, that I shouldn't have had a goat around. Wow. Rabbi Shmuel says, Rabbi Shmuel says Rabbi Shmuel that my father's house comes from the Bali Batim of Golul Elyon. Okay, where's that? Like Tzfas? Where's Tzfas? Tzfas Golul? I don't really know that geography. What's like the Golan? Where's the Golan? Where's the Golan? I feel like I should know this geography because there's a lot of action going on over there now. What's the lower Galilee, the upper Galilee, the Golan? Where's Tzfas? Is Tzfas the upper Galilee? I think it's in the Galilee. The upper Galilee, the lower Galilee? I don't know. I guess the Kinneret is probably the Galilee. Right, but the Kinneret is probably the lower Galilee because there's still more of Eretz Yisrael north of the Kinneret. Where's the Golan? Where's the Golan? Like the Syrians, like right there, they're very attached to the Golan, or at least attached to the Yidden not having it. So where's that? I guess that's by Syria. So I guess in the north of Eretz Yisrael there's Lebanon, and then I guess to the east of that is probably Syria. So is that like the Golan, like the top right of Eretz Yisrael? So what's the Galilee Panhandle? What's that? I don't know. I should probably figure out the geography. All right, fine. So where are we? So where are we? So where are we? So Amar Bishmol mi balibatim shebgol elyon hayu beisaba umipnei ma charvu, and how come they were destroyed? Shayumarim bechorshin, because they would allow their sheep to graze in in Chorshin, I think we said were like the woods, which we said Taka was okay. And also they would judge monetary cases with only one judge, which we're going to learn about Masechta Sanhedrin, which, as I pointed out, it's pretty far away, but not technically that far away. Chaver, we're on that pay of Masechta BavaKama. Chaver, big deal. 2/3 of the way through Masechta BavaKama. We have to learn Bava Metzia, Bava Basra, and then Sanhedrin. But those are big. It's another year. When a year isn't that much, some I say. In Babylon, we're already 4 years in. And even though the woods were close to their homes, nonetheless, there was a small field between their homes and the woods, and the sheep would go through the field and I guess would eat from the grass, and that was a problem. If you have a shepherd who does tshuva, right? You have a fellow, he's got a whole flock of sheep, and he says, "Oy vavoy, you know what? I had enough of this. You're not supposed to be raising sheep in Eretz Yisrael. I'm done." So he does tshuva. So we don't force him to sell the entire flock immediately. Ella mocher al yad al yad. He could sell them kind of one at a time, I guess, at his leisure. Okay. Similarly, a proselyte who I guess inherited hunts and hogs. We don't force him to sell everything immediately. Ella he could sell them. It sounds like kind of like at his leisure. Also, somebody who made a neder. What does that even mean? That's not exactly a neder, I think. Interesting. Somebody made a neder that he's gonna get married. Every day he's going to buy a house and get married in Eretz Yisrael. Maybe he says that if I don't, then I can't eat any pizza. Maybe he says something like that. We don't require him, we don't force him, we don't compel him to do these things immediately. We say, you can wait until you find the right one. There was a maisa with a fella. She was either a widow or a divorcee, and she had a son who was being a shtickle shtunk. So bino meitzer la, and her son was being a shtunk. V'kovtza v'nishba, and she made a shvue kol mishiyavo eini machziroso, that if anybody comes and wants to marry, I will not turn the fellow away. And I guess that way she would have some help with the shtunky son. And then the rumor spread, wow, this fella, she'll marry anybody. And then all of the fellows who, I guess were having a hard time finding a fella, they all lined up. And then this came before the rabbis, and they said, what she meant is she will marry anybody who is appropriate for her, not any of these other fellows. Just like they said that you cannot raise a sheep, also a small little chaya. Alright, I guess like a little like deer, right? I think Rashi said, right, deer. Alright, I was like, just like behemadaka, right, which is like, right, sheep and stuff. So also chayadaka would be like deer and foxes. Rabbi Shmuel says, Rabbi Shmuel, megadin klovim kufrin. You can have toy poodles, the chasulim and cats, the kufin and monkeys. I feel like I don't want monkeys around here in Eretz Yisrael. Oh my gosh, those monkeys, they would terrorize Shuk Machne Yehuda. Oh my gosh, keep them elsewhere. The chudus snoim and bush weasels. It's a bush weasel. So you can raise them because they clean the house, lamaisa. Right, they keep the mice out. So the truth is, here where I live, for the past few years, one of my neighbors has been very kind to the street cats, And I'll tell you one thing I do notice. So it tends to, most of the sort of I don't know what the word is. Not exactly repercussions, but I don't know. But most of the sort of things that come along with that are not so positive. Particularly that it smells horrible outside, but particularly in the summer. One thing is I've noticed though there have been a lot less cockroaches around since there have been more cats. So it is a bit of a trade-off. Roaches in the house, chaval. Oh, so not fun. Ugh. You just like go down to the laundry room and like there's a roach, and you're like, dag nabbit. So I think since the cats have been around, there have been less of those, which is nice. Akoponim. So yeah, so having these things around, whatever, I guess it's a trade-off. It's fine. What are bush weasels? Yeah, I think I don't actually know how to translate this. Amar Viuda says, Rabuda shirtza chirtza, vigidami charze de ktine shake, viraya bene vardine, my shirtza de mitatoy shake. Dag nabbit, I don't know, let me just pull out the art scroll. Oh, dang it, then I gotta get up. Oh, man. I hope that doesn't mess anything up. Oh, that's the wrong one. Oh, no, it's not. It's the right one. Alright, let me see. Okay. Tough. Right. I totally don't remember how to translate this. It is, okay. They are a creeping, digging animal, and there are those who say that they are a stinging animal, whose legs are thin and which pastures between the bushes. And what is the reason it is called a creeping animal? Because its legs are dwarfish and are under it, and thus when it walks, it gives the impression of creeping. Amr Yehuda Marov says Rav Yehuda in the name of Rav. Okay, Asinu Atzminu beBavel ke'Eretz Yisrael leBehema Daka. Interesting. Okay, so Rav Yehuda says in the name of Rav that in Bavel they made themselves like Eretz Yisrael for Behema Daka. That they also don't raise them in Bavel, which makes it sound like it's Lav Dafka, an Indian in Eretz Yisrael Dafka. It sounds like it's more of an Indian in like Ben Adam Lachavero kind of thing. Amr Vada Bar Hava says Vada Bar Hava the Rav Huna. Didoch Mai, how come Rav Huna? How come you have Behema Daka? Amalei Didon come into Elu Chova. Well, my wife Chova makes sure that my Behema Dakas don't go nowhere. Amalei Chova tikbrinu livno. So Rav Bar Hava says that Chova should bury her sons. Wow. And then as long as Rav Bar Hava lived, Rav Huna and Chova did not manage to successfully have children. Wow. Rav Bar Hava. Fiery. Whew. Those who say, Rav Huna says, Rav Huna Marav, Asinu Atzminu b'Bavel k'Eretz Yisrael behema daka. We made ourselves in Bavel like Eretz Yisrael with regard to behema daka. Michi also Rav leBavel, from when Rav came to Bavel. I believe Rav coming to Bavel is also a Gemara in Masechta Sanhedrin. The beginning of Masechta Sanhedrin, I think it talks about it. It's by Yod and Yora, I think. Now, what does Rashi say? Michi also Rav leBavel. About 10 lines before the end of Rashi. Rabu Misyashvin Sham Pnei Yeshivaso. So when Rav moved, this is very interesting. When Rav moved from Eretz Yisrael to Bavel, so then many people moved to Bavel because of his yeshiva. I guess in Surah, is that what it's referring to? Because of his yeshiva, a lot of people went to Bavel. Interesting. What year was that? When did Rav live? When did Rav live? Probably what, like the year like 200, 300? Something like that. And we're saying that at that point, lots of Yidden left Eretz Yisrael to Bavel. Interesting. Lishnachvina, alternatively, so he came to Bavel v'lamadnu, and he taught us liyizar b'chach, to be careful shara sham rovi saw v'yishuv kavur, because Rav saw when he got to Bavel, he saw, wow, okay, there's a lot of Yidden over here. Therefore, we should also have the same halacha about the goats and sheep and stuff. Interesting. Rav Shmuel and Rav Asi iklu levei shvua haben v'amlo levei Yeshua haben. So Rav and Shmuel and Rav Asi were guests either at a bris or at a pidyon haben, Rav lo ayil kami de Shmuel. So now there was an interesting thing, which is Rav did not want to enter before Shmuel. Shmuel lo ayil kami de Rav Asi, and Shmuel did not want to enter before Rav Asi. Rav Asi lo ayil kami de Rav, and Rav Asi did not want to enter before Rav. Okay. Alright. So Rav didn't want to go in before Shmuel because he wanted to give cover to Shmuel, as we're going to see in a minute from a Gemara that we learned in Masechta Shabbos about when Rav came to Bavel and Shmuel took care of him. And Shmuel took care of him, and then the medicine made him sick, and then Rav cursed Shmuel, and so then he gave him cover from then on. So he wanted Rav wanted that Shmuel should go in before him. Shmuel wanted Rav Asi to go before him because Rav Asi was greater than Shmuel. Interesting. I wonder which Rav Asi this was. Anyways, and then Rav Asi did not want to go in before Rav because Rav was his student. Well, was his teacher. Rav Asi was a student of Rav. I'm saying, I feel like I have to sneeze. So anyway, so what did they do? So they were kind of stuck. So where am I? So Amri, they said, Man Nisrach. So they said, well, okay, what we should do is one of us should stay back, and then the other two will go. So Nisrach Shmuel, so Shmuel will stay back. V'nesi Rav Ravasi, and then Rav would go first, and then Ravasi. V'nisrach Rav or Ravasi. Why didn't Rav or Ravasi stay behind? Rav milsa ba'amu da'avad le'lishmuel mishum ma'umaysi delatye. Ad Rav ole. Period. That because of that time when Rav moved to Bavel, and he was like sick, and Rav and Shmuel took care of him, but I think that was the Meiser, right? Av Kuf Ches Masechta Shabbos. Who else was there? Karna. I think it was Shmuel and Karna, I think, were there. Anyways, so Shmuel was a doctor. So anyways, Rav tried to give Shmuel cover, and in the end, because they were kind of stuck over here, so Shmuel stayed back. Also, Shunra Katoy Liyada de Yenuka. A cat came and bit off the hand of a baby. Nafak Rav V'darsh, so Rav then darshan Chosel Mutter Lahargo V'Asur L'Kaimo. A cat, you're allowed to kill it, and you're forbidden to keep it. Ve'ein bo mishum gezel, and if you steal it, it's not theft. Ve'ein bo mishum ashev aveda levailim, and you don't have to return a lost cat to its owners. V'chem da'amart muter lahargo ma'niu su asur l'kaimo. Well, once already you said that it's permitted to kill it, so why do you have to say that it's forbidden to keep it? Ma'odetema me'evtad muter lahargo isur leka. I might think that it's permitted to kill it, but there's nothing wrong with keeping it around. So kamash malan, they say no, it's taka an issue to keep it around. Amri v'chem da'amart. Ein bo mishum gezel. Once already you said that there's no issue of theft. If you steal it, it would not be considered theft. My new su ein bo mishum ashev aved levalim. I gotta sneeze again. So once you say that if you steal it, it wouldn't be considered theft. So why do you have to say that you have to return it if it's lost to its owner? So marvina leoro. Well, if it's dead, you don't even have to return its hide. Meisvei Reb Shimon ben Elazar. Meisvei BavaKama. Reb Shimon ben Elazar. Amos Shimon ben Elazar. Megadlin klovim kufrin. So we said that you can raise toy poodles and cats and monkeys and bush weasels because they clean the house. So on the one hand we're saying that you're not allowed to have cats, and the other end you're saying you can have cats because they clean the house. The black cats you can keep around. The white cats you got to watch out for. They cut off, they bite off babies' hands. But Maisa the Rav uchma hava. But the story with Rav was a black cat, and it nonetheless bit off a baby's hand. Also uchma bar chivara hava. In that story, it was a black cat, but it was the son of a white cat. Ravina, but Ravina taka asked the kasha, the boy Ravina, uchma bar chivara mau. What's what is the halacha with regard to a black cat, the son of a white cat? In which case, it doesn't seem to be super clear that a black cat, the son of a white cat, would be a hand biter offer. No, when Ravina wasn't sure, uchma bar chivara bar uchma. He was talking about a black cat, the son of a white cat, who was itself the son of a black cat. Ma'aseh Rav b'uchma bar chivara hava. Whereas the Ma'aseh with Rav was a black cat, the son of a white cat, who was also the child of a white cat. Excuse me. Okay. Amr Rab Acha bar Papa Mishum Rab Abba bar Papa Mishum Rab Ada bar Papa v'Amru Amr Rab Abba bar Papa Mishum Rab Chia bar Papa Mishum Rab Acha bar Papa v'Amru Amr Rab Abba bar Papa Mishum Rab Acha bar Papa Mishum Rab Chanina bar Papa. Masrin ala chikuch b'Shabbos. We can even blow shofar according to Rashi for boils. If you have boils on your skin on Shabbos. And also a door that is closed will not be opened quickly. Okay, wow. What does Rashi says? If a fellow has not found success with Epis, so it will not be easily open. But I think Rashi says, maybe you could pray for it. It's still, you can always daven. In Mazel Yisrael. A fellow who purchases a house in Eretz Yisrael, you can write a document for it even on Shabbos. Meisvei. We have a kashu. And other kind of calamities that come on the congregation. Kigon, for example, chikuch, boils, chogov, locusts, zvuv, flies. Tzira, wasp, yitush, mosquitoes. I've had mosquitoes in here recently. I don't know how they get in. Mosquitoes are a big problem. But thank God, they haven't been too bad. They're just so annoying. Also, I feel like over the years, mosquitoes have gotten better at being elusive. I'm surveying the room right now to see if I see any. Thank God I don't. No, they haven't been bad at all. Once a week. I just don't know where they're coming in from. That's what I don't get. Vishiluach nechashim v'akrovim, and I don't know, sending away snakes and scorpions. Lohayu masuyin elot se'akim. They wouldn't blow shofar, I guess they would only cry out. Lokasha kam belach kam b'yovesh. It depends. If it's a moist boil, I think it's not as severe as a dry boil. That the boils that the Eibishter brought against the Mitzrayim, lachmi b'chutz, it was moist on the outside, but v'yovesh mi b'fnim was dry on the inside. And that was a shvacha, that was a modne, right there, that was a modne boil. Shenemar, it says, Vayi shchina v'abuos, poreach b'odom v'behemo. Okay, there were these modne shchin, boils on the people and the animals. V'delos and edelos of meriti potach, and a door that is closed will not be quickly opened. Mahi, what is it? Marzucha Omer smicha. Marzucha says rabbinic ordination, that if a fellow, Dafka, I think it's talking about smicha, meaning real smicha, right? That would go teacher to student all the way back to Moses. That as we're going to learn also in Masechta Sanhedrin, Daf Yudalid, I believe. That ended with Rabbi Yehuda ben Bava. But yeah, apparently I guess if there would be a scenario where it just wasn't working out to get smicha, so that might take a long time to remedy. Rav Ashi Omer says, Rav Ashi called Marian lo b'meir mitivan lo, that if somebody is being bad to you, they will not quickly be good to you. Okay, fine, okay. Rav Acha midifti Omar le'olam mitivan lo, they will never be good to you. V'lori, it's not true. Rav Acha midifti milsa denafshe udi Omar. Rav Acha midifti was saying his own thing. V'lokech ba'is be'etz Yisrael kosman olav onu afilu b'Shabbos. Somebody purchases a house in Eretz Yisrael, they write a document for it even on Shabbos. B'Shabbos akadaitek. What do you mean? You write a document on Shabbos? El kedam Rav, it's like Rav says also. Omer l'nochri v'osa, you can instruct a Gentile to write it for you on Shabbos. Hachanami Omer l'nochri v'osa, it's talking about you can instruct a Gentile to write the document for you on Shabbos. V'afagav amir l'nochri shvusi, and even though amir la'akum, even though we don't instruct Gentiles to do malacha for us on Shabbos, but mishum Eretz Yisrael lo gazu be'rabonim. But in the interest of Yishuv Eretz Yisrael, the rabbi said it's okay, you can instruct a Gentile to write this document for you. Amr Shmuel bar Nachmani, Amr Yonason, Halakech Ir Be'eretz Yisrael, somebody purchases a city in Eretz Yisrael, Kofen Oso Likach L'derech Mi'abru Chosea, you have to make sure that there is an approach from all four sides, Mishum Yishuv Eretz Yisrael, so that the people can live in the city. Wow, gewaldig. Yishuv Eretz Yisrael. Such interesting stuff in this daf. Such interesting stuff in this daf. Okay, I mean, it was highly technical with all these goats and sheeps and stuff, but along the way there was some interesting stuff. So, peace.